Good evening, Wixman Ray here. Saturday, May 16th, 2026. It is 7:11 p.m. Hey, how about that? 7:11. I love 7:11 when I was a kid. Anyways, 7:11 p.m. here in the Central Time Zone. Yeah, I could tell you some stories about 7-Eleven. I'll share a couple real quick. We got time. So, yeah, when I was, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12, my aunt lived with us for a bit. She was just maybe 4 or 5 years older than me, maybe six, I don't remember. She was like a teenager, 18 or whatever, 17, I don't remember. Anyway, she would send me up to 7-Eleven to buy her Marlboro cigarettes. Back in the day, man, this was back in, I guess, the 70s or late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, probably in the 70s at the time. But yeah, they let us little kids. I was probably 10 or 12. I don't remember how old I was. I was going up there and say, "Hey, my aunt needs cigarettes," and they would hand them to me, and I'd buy them. So that's the one 7-Eleven story. The other 7-Eleven story is that's where we went to play our arcade games when they came out with Asteroids and the pinball machines. We would go to yeah, we would go mainly to 7-Elevens. That's what was around my town in Alamogordo, New Mexico at the time when I was a kid. Um, I think there might have been some Circle K's too, and there was also this place called J&J Mini Market or something, Mini Mart. Anyways, yeah. So I guess there's still 7-Elevens around. That's pretty cool. I like to see that when businesses survive over the years. All right, so we got some weather going on. This is our RGB satellite, my favorite. You probably already know this is my favorite. Sun's going down out here, but you can see kind of early on. In fact, I think I'll try to stop it when it gets to the beginning of the loop. There we go. That way you can see the East Coast better. So we've got that trough of low pressure across the west. We got a wave here moving through Utah, Wyoming, up into Montana with some showers and thunderstorms back into Colorado too. And then we got some stuff, another wave up here across the northern Rockies here with some showers up there from Montana through Washington. And another little weaker wave out here. I think it's bringing a couple showers to the Sierras, but this is real weak. There's not a lot of moisture with it. Then we got this. There's a low pressure that's formed, I think, out here in eastern Colorado. But we got a warm front that runs. See, these are all thunderstorms from eastern Colorado all the way through Nebraska, Iowa, northern Missouri, and back down through Illinois and Indiana and back through Kentucky here. So we got some pretty good thunderstorms, some severe thunderstorm warnings along there. I think I saw one tornado warning out here in northwest Kansas. Um, I think it was near Goodland or someplace. We'll look at it. But yeah, there's a warm front along there, so getting some nice convective thunderstorm buildup. North of there might be some showers, but this probably isn't nothing but just clouds. Down here, this is just clouds. I looked and I didn't see any rain. I think there was a rogue storm down here. I think it was southern Georgia or maybe southern Mississippi, Alabama. I can't remember. Then we got a few across, kind of isolated across the middle inland part of Florida there. And that's kind of a normal thing for them as we get into the summer and they get hot and humid and unstable almost every day out there. Some clouds out in Texas, but that's nothing, just some high cloud. Then we got this old frontal boundary running. Um, that decided to update on me, so let me just do the loop now. But yeah, we got an old frontal boundary bringing in a few showers up through New York, Pennsylvania, I think down into Virginia, the parts of the Mid-Atlantic. So, but underneath those clouds, I think it's in 60s and 70s, so it's definitely warmed up across the Northeast, like I was telling you it would do for Saturday. So we'll take a look at our surface obs and confirm that. In fact, we'll start over there since we always start on the other side of the country. So yeah, you see some 60s and 70s up there in Maine, so much nicer. Relatively rain free there. There's a couple of real weak showers, but here and there, but looks like the rain's still kind of out to their south and west across New York and Pennsylvania. And not everybody's getting rain. It's just kind of a little bit of a line there, a band of it going through. So, and same idea, 60s and 70s through this area. New York City's in the 60s, low 60s, low to mid 60s. DC area is a little warmer. Looks like they're in the mid 70s there. We got some of them storms. There is one severe warning out here, one or two severe warnings out here south of, was that Covington? Or no, that's Cincinnati. Sorry, what was I thinking? South of Cincinnati there, a couple strong to severe thunderstorms. They're actually severe. They got a severe warning on them. And then more showers and thunderstorms across parts of Illinois and Indiana here into Kentucky, obviously. Pretty warm out there too, in the 70s, some low 80s, low to mid 80s as you get farther south. And then across Florida, we're looking at mostly 80s, and you can see those thunderstorms kind of lined up in the interior there. So those will start going to bed here tonight over the next couple of hours. Really dry across the south and southeast here. Got some 80s across Texas, some low to mid 90s here across West Texas. Looks like it's pretty windy out there in eastern New Mexico and West Texas too, even this part of Texas. So some gusty winds out here, 30, 40 miles an hour. That even extends up into Kansas. So, gusting up about 30 to 40 miles an hour south of that warm front. Got some, we'll talk about that in a minute. The desert southwest is hot and dry. Unless you're in the higher elevations, it's 72 at Grand Canyon. So beautiful day in Grand Canyon National Park. 86 Albuquerque, 90 El Paso, 97 Phoenix, 92 in Vegas. And we got some 80s to 90s across the valleys, Central Valley of California. Another windy day, pretty gusty winds, almost 40 miles an hour coming off the bay there into San Francisco airport there. We see some showers extending way down into the far southeast part of Nevada and through Utah. We got some showers. Colorado, Wyoming. There might be a couple thunderstorms, but that looks mostly like showers to me. And quite a bit of rain up here. There might be a couple embedded thunderstorms here and there, but very wet. Kind of cool too back in here. I told you that front was coming in. I see some 40s and 50s, a few 60s in there. Yeah, even down towards Eugene, they're down 59. Yesterday, I think Medford was in the mid 70s. Today, they're 62. Look at that. Elko's even cooling down. I think tomorrow they're supposed to be a high in the 50s. Yeah, they're dropping into the 60s. A little bit of winds out there, 25, 30 miles an hour from the northwest. So that cold front's moving through like I told you would, and the winds are with it. They're not super strong, but they're gusting up to 30, 35, maybe a little stronger in some areas. Yeah, so that's general overview. Pretty warm across South Dakota in the 70s. You got 50s up here, farther north in North Dakota and northern Minnesota. So yeah, and then out here, and we got some, looks like there's still a few out in eastern Colorado, but they're starting to move into Kansas. We've got a bunch of severe thunderstorms. We got one tornado warning out there just to the east of Goodland, Kansas. So getting some rough weather. It looked like they had a gust of almost 70 miles an hour. Gust back here almost 60 miles an hour. All these storms. So these storms are putting out some very powerful winds, 60, 70 miles an hour, at least where their measuring stations are. Some thunderstorms up across Nebraska here, a few severe here near Kearney and Lexington. Yeah, that's near I-80 corridor there. Yeah, so be careful if you're driving along I-80. You probably already know Grand Island there. It's got some thunderstorms north of them. Yeah, quite a few severe thunderstorm warnings out too. One out there just to the east of Ord, Sharpfield, Nebraska. Must be some little airport or something. Yeah, so all through Nebraska, right along that warm front, they're developing. So, and then we got more kind of a break in between, to the around the Omaha area, and then you got got them redeveloping back here across southern Iowa and northern Missouri. We got some severe warnings out with those too. Been kind of hot and humid in Kansas City. Dew points have gotten up into the mid to upper 60s here. It was almost 90 today. I think it was topped out around 88 or 89 around Kansas City. Definitely a warm day. The winds didn't start out very gusty. They're gusting up around 30 miles an hour, 25 to 30 miles an hour now this evening. They were real light most of the day. Yeah, so that covers it. We already covered this stuff out here. So yeah, so that's what's going on down there at the surface. So kind of as we planned, they would kind of stretch east to west along that warm front. So, so let's look at the forecast. That's what you were seeing right there. So I'm not going to belabor it too much. There's that wave we saw, and then more waves across the northwest, and then this old frontal boundary here, moving across the northeast. So as we head through our Sunday, it looks like through the day in the morning that front's bye-bye. So it's gone off out to sea, leaves the northeast pretty clear, except we got this warm front starting to move in. It'll stretch from Minnesota, Wisconsin, all the way down through Michigan and parts of Ohio and Pennsylvania and New York. So they'll get some showers and thunderstorms out here as we head through the afternoon and evening. But the rest of the Northeast will stay dry for Sunday. So nice day there. See some showers and storms popping up through parts of the mid-Atlantic down here through the southeast and down into Florida as we get some moisture. We have a little upper level disturbance out there too that we saw yesterday. I won't cover that chart. We'll kind of keep this video a little shorter. You can see, so this is that low that developed out in Colorado today, right there. Kind of get multiple lows. But here's another one that's developing, then it kind of moves up here on Sunday night. But so you'll get showers. So you'll kind of have your warm front stretching across the north up here. And then we got a cold front that'll stretch back through Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, down through Oklahoma here. So we'll see some showers and thunderstorms across the plains here for tomorrow, late in the afternoon, evening. And then this stuff, it'll be raining pretty good on the northern end of this front here throughout the day up in the Dakotas and Minnesota, at least northern Minnesota and parts of Wisconsin. So this area is under the gun for severe. We'll show you that. Here's that other wave. That's with that front that moved down out of the northwest. So it starts to dry out a little bit back here. So here's his next wave, bring some rain and mountain snow for Utah. Still hinting at maybe some snow in the morning there, Sunday morning up across northern Nevada. Don't know if Elko will get it, but north of Elko, they got some higher terrain up around, they call it Wild Horse Reservoir up there, and they've got a Indian reservation, a Waihi, and then they have Jackpot over here. Jackpot's along the Idaho border. This whole area might get a little bit of snow in the morning. We'll see. Probably won't stick or anything, but hey, might see a little snow in the morning because it's going to cool off tonight out there. I think the lows are supposed to be down in the 20s. When I looked the other day, I haven't looked lately, but yeah, so that's what's going on there. So that's kind of the story for Sunday. So that's basically it for Sundays. We go through Monday. We'll have ongoing thunderstorms through the morning, going through the parts of the plains down through Missouri and Iowa, out into Illinois. This stuff, some rain and snow across Utah, Wyoming, and Colorado. So I-80 might be a mess for truck drivers there as we go into like Sunday night into Monday there. At least Monday morning, they might have some snow issues there along I-80. So as we go through the afternoon, so another low pressure, because this wave's coming out, will form out here kind of in southeast Colorado near New Mexico and come into Kansas here. Have some gusty winds around it, but you get another warm front developing across Kansas, Nebraska, up through Iowa and northward through Wisconsin. So that'll be a focus for some thunderstorms. Probably some will be severe back up through here. Yeah, because as you go through the evening, the low pressure moves north. So even parts of Wisconsin, southern Minnesota, Iowa, and that gets even into Missouri. So towards the Kansas City area. So this whole area is under the gun, even down into Oklahoma, probably parts of North Texas, and this will kind of push east too towards Illinois and maybe even down here parts of the South here might be affected by a little bit of severe. So yeah, and here's that first system that we saw. That came through on Sunday. For Monday, it's moving up into Canada, so there might be a little bit of effects up here across the Great Lakes, but looks like there's some showers and storms up across parts of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast on Monday and Monday evening, ahead of this next system. So that's for Monday. As we go through Tuesday, that cold front will sweep down. So this will be where the cold front is, like through here Monday evening. So that's where we'll see a good line of severe storms forming. But as we go through Tuesday, that'll push showers and thunderstorms east. So it looks like from Illinois, Indiana, southward through parts of Missouri, at least southeast Missouri, Arkansas, parts of Oklahoma, Texas, and Louisiana will probably be under the gun for some severe on Tuesday evening or afternoon, evening time frame. And then that kind of slowly drifts south. Through Wednesday. It looks like the front kind of gets hung up. We also get another wave that develops down here in Texas. So that's why you're seeing this enhanced rain and heavier rain and storms across the eastern parts of Texas into Louisiana. So, and that's the front will kind of stretch from the mid-Atlantic on Wednesday night down through parts of the south here in the southeast. So. Then we got another wave of energy up here in the northwest, up in the north here, northern Rockies, and then some stuff coming out of along the drywood line. It looks like in West Texas, into eastern New Mexico and eastern Colorado. So something's going on there. In fact, let me just look at the 500 millibar for you for that time frame. Yeah, we got a little energy coming out of the Rockies, so yeah, that's going to help fire off them storms. And then that's that next wave coming out. We won't go beyond Wednesday night right now. We'll just stick with Wednesday for the weekend here. We probably won't venture into the end of the week till we get to Monday. So, yeah, that's what's going on there. We'll look at our convective outlook, and then maybe if we got a little time, I'll show you the temperature forecast since we haven't gone over that in a bit. So yeah, here's that threat. That's where we're seeing most of the severe across southern Nebraska, northern, northeastern part of Kansas, a little bit back into this area in the whole Ohio Valley region. But anywhere where you see the dark green, there's even at least a chance of some isolated severe thunderstorms. So that's for the rest of tonight. As we go to day 2 for Sunday, it lines up from Minnesota through Wisconsin, even into Michigan. At least there's a marginal risk, but the best risk is from Minnesota down through Nebraska, parts of eastern, at least northeast Colorado, and down through Kansas and Oklahoma, and parts of Missouri and Texas. This will be late night, so it's just kind of a marginal. If it does get into this far into Missouri, that would be real late, like I would say, around midnight-ish. If it comes through, like the Kansas City area, if it does, for Sunday night. And Monday, Omaha, Kansas City, even St. Louis, Chicago, yeah, all these states are under the gun. All the central, most of the plains and up into parts of the, Great Lakes and Midwest up here. So under the gun. That'll probably be one of our biggest days, I think. Out of the next 3 days. Although tomorrow ought to be pretty good too. So Sunday and Monday will probably see the most severe weather. Tuesday it'll probably start quieting down a little bit. But, so yeah, that's for Tuesday. So from Michigan down through Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, like I was mentioning. That'll be under the gun. After that, there's not much confidence. And I didn't really see. Maybe there'll be a threat down south. There was that wave in Texas, so maybe that'll push down here and cause some, at least some isolated severe on Wednesday, Tuesday. I think that was down here. So, but we'll see how it evolves. And maybe later in the week, as that next wave comes out of the Rockies too, if it gets enough moisture, it might cause some more severe later in the week. Sorry, I had to get a drink. My voice is getting dry here. My throat's getting dry. All right, so here, let's update our temperature, and I'll show you that real quick. Hold on here. Give me a sec. Okay, so that's what you see for Saturday. That's where all the warm air is. Yeah, you see how the Northeast warmed up into the 60s, 70s. There's all your cool air coming in. That looks more like Sunday than Saturday. Yeah, I wonder if that's actually Sunday, because it was warmer than that out in Elko right now. So I'm saying this is Sunday, but yeah, the bottom line, it's going to be cooler across the west, at least the northern half. You get down into Arizona and New Mexico, not so much of a cool down. Maybe a slight cool down, a couple degrees, but yeah. And as you go through this this has got to be, maybe this is Sunday, but I'm not trusting these NOAA temperature forecasts. Sometimes they trip me up sometimes. So let's just say this Sunday. Let's see, where is that front? Yeah, maybe it is through here. Either way, it's cool back here across parts of the northern plains and back in through the Rockies. Starts to moderate back up in the Pacific Northwest a little bit. See how warm it gets back here and even up into the Northeast. There's Monday. Man, it's getting up into the 80s, so that's probably the warmest air they've seen all year, all season up in the Northeast. I'm pretty confident about that. You got some cooler air that even drops down into the central plains and still covering the Rockies, at least the eastern side. So Tuesday starts to warm up. You still got a little bit of cool air that settles through the Great Lakes and starts to cool down up here as that front goes through on Tuesday, even into the southern plains a little bit, 60s and 70s. Look at that, 68 in Kansas City on Tuesday. I'm going to be loving that. Monday and Tuesday are going to be beautiful around here for where I'm at. If we're going to Wednesday, yeah, look at that. Beautiful across the plains. You're in the 60s to around 70. Yeah, this whole area. I mean, it'll be a little cool up here, but that's 50s. They like 50s up there. So a good cool down across this part of the country as we go into midweek. So pretty nice. The warm weather will be across the southeast and down into South Texas and then up through the desert southwest and up into parts of California. So yeah, really nice as we get into midweek there. We're a good part of the east there. Unless you're down in the southeast, but yeah. All right, that's all I got for you folks. Sorry, I had to get another drink, man. Getting thirsty here. End of the day, that happens. So, hey, appreciate y'all. Just a quick reminder, especially if we have anybody new watching. It seems like sometimes when I post these little shorts, I pick up one. I did pick up one subscriber, so that brings us up to 52. So thank you very much, whoever you were. You're awesome. I appreciate you. We're not here to be popular, to make 50 million views, or it would be nice to get up to 50 or 100,000 subscriptions. I would love it. Maybe I could retire permanently if I could make some money off this. That would be nice. But what my whole vision, my New Year's goal was to do this, to just start a YouTube channel. But there's two reasons why I do it, because I love weather. I have a passion for it. So even when I'm old and retired and I'm not doing meteorology and weather anymore as a job, I'm still going to do it to keep myself proficient, and because I've always loved weather since I was a kid. And the second reason why I do it is because I want to educate you Um, Especially the younger people. A lot of younger people are interested in science and weather things, and even a lot of older people are very interested in it. They think it's kind of cool, and some follow it all the time, some track it, some get into it, but aren't meteorologists. So, you know, so this is the channel for you. There may be other channels for you out there that are weather related, and that's awesome. But my whole purpose is to help educate you on weather terminology and how the weather works. The way I was taught and understand, and the way I understand it, I do have a master's degree in meteorology. Plus, I have 35, going on basically 36 years of operational weather experience where I've worked in a weather office and put out weather forecasts and weather warnings and supported all kinds of different missions, from supporting the public and the National Weather Service to supporting the military in various capacities there. So I have a pretty diverse background. I'm not too much into the model side. I understand how the models work, but that's not my expertise, is models. And I learned the equations, but I don't put them into use every day in my brain. That's just not what the average weather forecaster will never probably ever use those equations ever again. That's for modelers. And even at that, everything's put into the computer, and with AI and computer programs, they're not going to be writing no, you know, differential equation for meteorology, and you know, and writing it out, because the computers are doing that now. So that was back in the day. That they just teach you that so you understand the theory and whatnot behind it, and how the different processes, the physics and whatnot, um, interact with each other in the atmosphere. That's how they come about with those equations. And some of those equations just have assumptions in them too. So they're not a perfect science, because we don't know everything there is to know about everything. We never will. We'll get better and better, but we're never going to know everything. We can't cure the common cold. So hey, case in point. I'm rambling here. I'm getting off course, but yeah. I appreciate you all. Please like and subscribe, and let your kids, your grandkids know, if you have kids or grandkids, or if you just have friends that have kids, let them know about my channel. Tell them, hey, you might learn something from Wixman Ray, or Weatherman Ray, if they don't know what the Wix means. So, but that's what WX is. That's the abbreviation that I made up for weather. Maybe it is a real abbreviation, but that's something that I made up, really, to be honest. For me, I don't know if it's been made up by other people. Maybe it has. So. All right, well, I'm rambling again, so I'll get finished up here. I appreciate y'all, and have a great evening. We'll talk to you again on Sunday. Wixman Ray out.